Hello and welcome. Yes, we are having some technical difficulties. I can't get Craig on the phone here.
Sure you can. I'm right here.
Oh, hey, how is that? I don't see you anywhere on the screen. And our intro didn't play. Oh,
I
Lord.
understand. But we're
Okay.
starting, and you know what? You just roll with it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are Alina Frank and
Dr. Craig Weiner, and we are EFT MBA, Mastering Business Acumen.
So this is our free bi-monthly show that we do. It's also podcast and available on our website, EFTtappingtraining.com. And the things that we talk about in this show are elements of how to run a successful EFT practice. We have a 6-month program. We are in the final stages with the group that we're running now, and it's been absolutely fabulous. So if you are interested in learning all the ins and outs, doing lots and lots of tapping on what is in the way of you building your successful business, go check out EFTMBA.com, and you can pick up a free application, and that will start the ball rolling. We will have an interview with you, a brief interview, to see if it's a right fit. And our next program starts in, is it April?
Exactly. Yes, it does.
Yeah, right around the corner. All right. So what are we talking about today? Today we are talking about sales psychology versus energy psychology. So please explain, Craig.
Wow, I think most people know the energy psychology part, so I'll start with the sales part. Sales psychology really is defined as the study of figuring out why people buy. And I think that, number one, we have to remember that we're EFT, we're tapping practitioners. We are providing a service. We are providing a service that most of the time needs some sort of currency exchange, which means that we are running a business, okay? So our practices are also a business. And so a lot of people don't like to deal with this part. You know, the reason they got into EFT and tapping was to help people, to be of service, to make a difference, and to transform people's lives, not run a business. But you are. And so we need to look at how to transform that relationship, number one, to be able to, number one, just honor that and know that, and that's just what's so, and then to actually really shift that into a place in which we're thriving, our clients are thriving, our practices are thriving. There's a win-win all the way around, and we need to be able to have a place to come from to be able to look at our EFT businesses, our practices, and be able to, how do we get it out there? How do we reach, and how do we not feel like so many of our mentees, like, I don't want to feel like a car salesman. Sorry, car salesman out there, but you know what I mean. Right? And nobody wants to feel that. Nobody wants to feel inauthentic. Nobody wants to be pushing people. Nobody wants to be doing that sales psychology kind of thing that we're going to go into that's so typical out there, and that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to be focusing on those things right now.
Yeah. So
Where do you want to start?
I just want to define what sales psychology is, because I think a lot of people get sidetracked with this when they start their EFT businesses or when they're trying to figure out what's not working. So sales psychology is the study of figuring out why people buy. It's that simple. And if you run a EFT business in any way, shape, or form, you need to learn some of the things, the skills that will help you to bring in more clients. And besides skill set, you need the right mindset. And sales psychology, like I said, people get distracted by this. They go and they buy this book, and they do this seminar, and they do this webinar, and all of these things. They're trying to figure out what's the secret sauce and how to get people to come to you and buy your services. And so we're going to go over what these very common sales psychology techniques are and why it's not good for you to focus on these. All right, so number one, putting your competition down. Oh, yeah. We want to just, like, rip them because they suck and we're great.
We're better than them. We're cheaper than them. We're better than them. We have more than them. We have more services than them. We're the biggest dealer in your area. We have the largest volume, and they have the smallest volume. Wow. I just think about every time that I see anybody in my field that does anything even remotely resembling that. How quickly do I want to unfriend and cross them out and swiftly get rid of that?
Yeah. And so the reason why you're never, ever, ever going to focus on putting your competition down is because it makes you look like a loser. In technical terms.
Yeah.
No, we just, the feeling sense of that. Tuning into the feeling sense of that, it's awful. It's yucky. It's messy. You don't want to go there. So, number 2. Lowering your prices will lead to sales. Yeah, lowering your prices will lead to sales.
The cheapest EFT sessions in your area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess
work
what?
In our field.
Yeah, why doesn't it work, Craig?
Why? Because the hair on the back of my end starts to go up. It's like, why are they needing to do that? Why are they giving away their services?
Right.
What is lesser about their quality that they're having to charge, 30 cents on the dollar? All of a sudden, all these kinds of questions and skepticism just like start popping up like little, cartoon balloons in my head. So I become suspicious right away seeing that. It's like,
because
are they really
the value
doing that?
is then questioned. Yeah. The value of what you're given is then questioned, and that's the last thing you want people to thinking about is what is the value of this if they slash their prices.
It works for stereos.
Well,
right. It works for different things out there. It works for a loaf of bread. It works for iPhones as long as they're coming from a source. But you know what? They don't do that. You don't see Apple all of a sudden having a 40% off sale on their iPhones.
Nope, you don't.
Right? Not the high quality companies. Just the lower ones tend to really do that, and it feels desperate.
It does feel desperate, and that's what you're sending across to people. The other good example of this is Groupon.
Mm-hmm.
There are businesses that I personally know because I've had to tap with their owners. Groupon really wrecked or destroyed their business. They may have masses of people walking in their door, but the price of that is that they have undercut themselves so much that they can never go back to what they charged before. Because you do that, and people then will wait around and say, okay, when's the sale coming? Right?
Right.
Not good.
Good point.
Yeah.
Number 3.
All right. Number 3, using high-pressure tactics. Buy now.
What would that look like?
High-pressure tactics, when you have a consult with someone and you start to go through this every objection, no, there is a counter-objection that I can use for you to buy from me, feels like it's, again, car salesman, pressure. No, when you are talking about helping someone transform their life, that is a decision that some people need to think about. Some people will say yes right away. And you are doing yourself and your clients a disservice by having them feel pressured.
It's funny. We recently bought a new car, and we had about as sweet and heartfelt a salesman as you could have, right?
It was great. It was a great experience.
It was great. It was. But I will also say the question came is, what is it going to take for you to sign here before you leave today?
Yeah.
You know what? That was still there that I wish it wasn't.
Right.
We ended up, finding a way that worked for us. But if you do that, when people are looking for their health and well-being and transforming and changing their lives, they start to feel and sense that you need to sign here, sign up today thing. And, boy, I think you're just creating a hornet's nest of problems.
Yes. Okay, using a script for persuasion instead of using a conversational tone. What do you think that does? Craig, what do you think that does?
Any way in which you start that somebody starts to sense. And you got to remember, we're dealing in the field of energy here. People's energetic senses in looking for an energy psychology, an EFT tapping person, have their energy antennas up. If they feel you're okay, and this is what we do it, and this is how it costs, and here's my opening, and here's da-da-da, and here's, and oh, hold on a second. Okay, let me review with you, informed consent over the phone. Let me, in other words, if they start to feel any sort of repetition, monotony, you do this by rote, you're not being present, it's just a kiss a bye-bye.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to just like in a session, think of this, just like in any session that you're being fully present physically, with your listening, with your energy sensors, everything that you're doing to be present in a session, you want to be just as present when you're having a conversation, whether it be a consult, whether it be somebody that's calling you, just asking you questions about the practice. Think of it as that conversational marketing, however you want to look at that business conversation. You need to be just as present and just as energetically in tune and sensitive as you are in the middle of a tapping session.
Right. Okay. Here's number 5, ignoring the boom of the knowledge economy. The knowledge economy simply means that you do have a presence on the web, whether you like it or not. You even have a presence on the web. If you run any sort of business, you might have a presence on the web, even if you don't have a website, because guess what? People talk. People talk. And if you don't have a good reputation, and if your antenna is not out for what people are saying about you, then you're really going to be in trouble. In fact, we're dividing a whole show to this the next time we're here in a couple of weeks. It's all about you're in the business of customer service, and so knowing that they are knowledgeable, they can do research, and they will look for anything out there that if they're researching EFT, then you may need to be ready for any kind of questions that they ask you about EFT. And if they're looking for you versus someone else, your competition, they might ask what's different about you, and that's a valid question. If they say, I'm looking at a few people, then you're not going to slam down your competition. You're just going to say what is uniquely different about you and your approach. Okay. Number six. Number 6. I have to go back and find the study, but there was a study that was done, and God, it was some university, I can't remember. They found out that being too aggressive or being too much of an extrovert, meaning you're really too hyped up during a consult or you're really too animated, comes off as aggressive, and people are turned off. So it's good to be, of course it's good to be animated. Of course it's good to be passionate. Now, too much of that, and people just start I can just feel, I actually just move my back at an angle, like backing away. That's exactly the energetic that people are going to get. They're going to feel inside of them if there's too much of that going on. It just doesn't feel authentic for you. You know what I got a side note here. I'm going to just go off on a tangent here. Our daughter our daughter was telling us the other day. She's a very insightful 18-year-old. She was saying recently that she was going to stop following a certain person on one of the social media sites. And I said, why? And she said, because she does nothing but talk in these super hyped, totally way over the top positive things all the time, and no one is like that, Mom. And I think what she was getting to, and she actually read me one of the posts, and what it was speaking to was this person was not authentic, and you could just smell it. I mean, it smelled like plastic. You know what I'm saying?
I do, and you know what?
Yeah.
It makes total sense. And you know what? It actually, if you want to drop into the neuroscience of it, when we talk about, and Dan Siegel and a lot of the other neuroscientists talk about the prosody of voice, we're looking at if a voice is really too low, it actually starts to cause our neuroception to be a little more fearful and watchful. But if also it's too aggressive, we also back up. So exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say there needs to be but there is a quality, like at the gathering we're having, we're talking about EFT and storytelling. There is an engagement that happens with a certain pace, a certain lilt, a certain way in which I think of it as storytelling, because you're being involved, you're being present, you're not forcing something down somebody's throat. And as soon as you start doing that, people back off, right?
Yeah.
So there is an art to that.
Yeah.
Right? Just like everything else.
Most definitely. Okay, and number 7 is thinking about strategies that will have your potential client or your prospect, let's talk sales lingo here, your prospect, your qualified prospect, to buy from you. Trying to figure out, okay, what's going to hook them? What's going to have them buy from me? And you feel like you're convincing them instead of what you should be doing, which is helping them to realize how their life will improve as a result of working with you.
Yeah, big difference.
Huge
big difference.
So why we are no longer living in the 50s or 60s or 70s, for that matter, when
we're out of the Mad Men era.
Thank God we're out of the Mad Men era. Yeah. So it's no longer about the jingle and the tagline and the branding and all of that, especially if you're an EFT coach, because guess what? Your audience is the whole world is bombarded with sales pitches. 24/7 they are seeing ads. And the people that are coming to you and if you haven't figured this out, now is the time to realize it, they're looking for transformation. These people are awake. They are conscious. They don't want to be talked down to. They are intelligent and emotionally savvy enough. They have emotional intelligence and emotionally savvy enough to know they need help. And so bombarding them with more of the sales psychology is just not going to fly. What does matter? All right, what does matter? Craig?
Okay. Elements that matter. I think you already began it with authenticity. I want to know that there's a real person that has something that I need that can help me. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for a sense of energetic connection with them. I need for them to be out there. Otherwise, I'm never going to know that they're out there. So I need somehow for them to be promoting, getting their work out there. I want a way to be able to taste it and get a sense of them, right? So through either their website or videos or things that they're doing, I want to have a sense of who they are. I'm going to ask friends and people that I trust around me for referrals, so I'm looking for a sense of community, authenticity, a way of getting a sense energetically for them. I mean, these are things that I'm looking for in any sort of person that I'm hiring in a collaboration to work with. Those are pieces that are really important for me.
Yeah. So here are some of the pieces that I wrote down that are important besides the formulas, right? So it's about setting an intention. Setting an intention that you are going to be helpful for this person that is on the other end of the line, or you're addressing in an email, or that you are talking to in a public presentation. You're setting that intention that you are there to be of service. That will come across if you set your intention. You will come across as being truly authentic. Then the next one is connection. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Have you heard that saying?
Of course.
Connect with people. Have real presence, undivided attention. And you're speaking to, whether it's one person or 500 people, you are addressing their needs. You are finding a way to connect with them and pay attention to them and have presence, undivided presence. How many of us have been on a call where we knew the person wasn't really there? They weren't all together there. How many times have we been in the presence of someone where they either checked their watch or their cell phone and that connection was immediately broken? Yeah, we're talking about rapport here. It's absolutely imperative that people feel a rapport with you and a connection. And that you are asking the questions to make them know that how much you really want to know about them. You know, Craig, I'm just thinking about a meeting that you had last month where there was someone that wanted to have a meeting with you, and they spent the whole time talking about themselves. And didn't ask you once about you. And you felt it.
It was frightening.
What did you feel?
Well, it was scary because it was somebody in the mental health field. And it was just, if that person can't even inquire a little bit about me and ask me some questions, then why would I ever refer a client to them? So that just absolutely released that. So there needs to be a mutual exchange there. Of course there does.
Yes. And then the last piece is some sort of ritual. Some sort of ritual like a 15-minute consult. What are the elements of that consult that you want to get across? Your pricing, how it is that you work. All of that almost doesn't matter. All of that is almost secondary to intention, connection, rapport. So I think that we've covered it all. Stop stretching.
I think we did a lot, and we overpromised because I actually had put in all the promo that we were going to go over the 4 keys, and we actually brought it up to 7. So I love overgiving that way. That's great.
All right.
All right. So next time we bring the idea of customer service to us, because I tell you, I have heard a lot of times people that have changed practitioners because of some very basic concepts in customer service that because we don't often think of ourselves as a business that we forget to adhere to. And so that's going to be where we go next time on EFT MBA. So how can people find us if they want more information? You can go to EFTMBA.com. Is the best way, or EFTtappingtraining.com for our training and workshops.
Yeah, we also have the recordings of these shows and lots of information on how to build your business at the EFT Tapping Training site. So go check it out.
That's right.
And we're going to see a bunch of you at the Northwest Tappers Gathering on March 1st. You can check that out if you're unfamiliar with it. It's a wonderful regional event to bring, in Seattle. And it is the Northwest Tappers Gathering. It'll be our 4th annual. You can check that out. All the money we raise goes to research with EFT, and so it's nwtappersgathering.com. All right, and for some reason I'm not able to hit our intro or our outro today, so we will just sign off and wish you all a happy, wonderful, joyous day, and remember to
keep on tapping.
All right.